Hi, honeys. It's Michelle. I'm here today to do my Goodwill book haul. And I decided, I'm sorry, I know I said it was a three-part series that I was doing that day. I went to edit that video though, and I didn't really like it, so I'm re-recording it now. So sorry about the outfit change, but it is what it is. Sometimes we have to redo things. Because I am redoing it now and I want to get it up on the YouTube today, I don't really have time to wait to film this. And there is a little bit of background sound here at the apartments. Apparently they're doing something in the building next door. So I apologize if you hear the background sound, but I just wanted to show you these great books. I think I've mentioned before that when I get a house one day, I really want to have a library or a little nook or something where I can just sit and read and have a bunch of books. And because of that, I want to collect some books and get some really cute, pretty books to look at. And so I found this and I had to have this. This is Heidi by Johanna Spyri. And obviously it's a little bit older. I don't have the synopsis on here, but it's just gorgeous. Now this edition was published in 1945. So it's definitely an older book. And then they've got these nice illustrations at the beginning of each chapter too. Let's see, let me show you another one here. Oh. And then they have these color images throughout the book as well. But I just think, what a fun book, right? Now, I've never read Heidi. I know it's a classic. And so I'm excited because not only do I get to have this beautiful book on my bookshelf, but I get to read it too. Now, I'm not sure what this is worth. I can go online and try to find out, but this was $2.99 and I have a Goodwill VIP card, so I got this for $2.39. By the way, if you don't have a VIP card, I really recommend that you get one if you're going to shop at the Goodwill. They give you an additional discount on top of whatever discounts are going on. I just really think it's a good idea. And it's amazing how many people don't have it and won't sign up for it. I hear it every time I'm in line, person after person after person. No, I don't want to get VIP. All right, whatever. Then I got The Life of Pi. This is by Yann Martel. I know this book has really good ratings, and when I read the back, I thought, this sounds like the kind of book that Brad would really like, so I actually got it for him, and it's been made into a movie. I'm sure I'll probably end up reading it too if he likes it. If you've read it, let me know what you thought. I'm really curious to hear, but according to the back, it says, after the sinking of a cargo ship, a solitary lifeboat remains bobbing on the wild blue Pacific. The only survivors from the wreck are a 16-year-old boy named Pi, a hyena, a wounded zebra, an orangutan, and a 450-pound Royal Bengal tiger. The scene is set for one of the most extraordinary and beloved works of fiction in recent years. Universally acclaimed upon publication, Life of Pi is a modern classic. The MSRP is $15.95. These blue tags were half off the day that I was there, so it was $1.99. I got it for $1. Then I got Catcher in the Rye. I know a lot of places have taken these off of their list of to be read at different schools. I know a lot of libraries have removed this book from the library. I don't even know why, but I'm one of those people that if a book has been removed, I still want to read it. I still want to know why it was important at some time in history and see what I can maybe learn from it. So I don't know that I'll read this week, this month, maybe even this year, but eventually I'll read it. And I wanted to have it in my collection since so many people are banning it. So the funny part is, I don't even know what this is about. And there is no synopsis on here, so I don't really know. It says on the inside, Betty or Becca from Seattle, 3 girls danced. I don't know. And the original copyright for this book is 1945. Okay, so the world was very different back then. I'm sure there's a bunch of things in there that people now would find offensive. But like I said, I like to try to read about history anyway and learn what I can from it. The MSRP is $15 on this, and I got it for $1. I already took the tag off, but yeah. If you've read it, let me know. Let me know what you thought. Then I got Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle. I don't know if you've ever read this book or not. Kurt Vonnegut is an acquired taste. You either love him and think he's brilliant, or you kind of hate him. I'm one of the people that loves him. I've read this book 5 or 6 times. This is actually something I did read in high school. There was actually one class I showed up to, apparently, because I did read this in high school. Loved it and read it over and over again. I don't know what happened to my copy of it. So I figured, what the heck? Why not get another copy? This is the kind of book that I felt would be relevant to what's going on in the world today, and I wanted to reread it. Okay, this book is it's an apocalyptic book. It's got protagonists in it. It's got theology in it. It's very satirical though. So if you don't find satire funny, pass it up. Don't read it. You won't like it. But if you do, it's pretty good. Okay, this is a good way of describing it. Vonnegut is George Orwell, Dr. Caligari, and Flash Gordon compounded into one writer. Yeah, a zany but moral and mad scientist. So, love it or leave it, but that's what this book is. And I just remember, because, I don't know, our world is just changing so much. If you've read this book, you probably get why I want to read it again. But it just felt very relevant to the insanity that we call life now. Copyright to this book was in 1963. The MSRP on this is $12.95. The price tag on it was $199. With my VIP discount, I spent $179. Now, one thing that I think is so wonderful about not just the Goodwill, but used bookstores, other thrift shops, is that I can find out-of-print books there. And to me, out-of-print books, they're kind of where it's at. I love finding all these treasures that I can't find anywhere else. If a book is somewhat new and I know I can find it in a bookstore, fine. But the out-of-print ones, there's something very magical about them. And I feel like right now in my personal life, and probably yours too, certain activities are more important than they've ever been because I'm at home 95% of my life now. And because of that, reading is paramount. It's so important to me. And the other thing that's super important to me is cooking. I don't go out to restaurants anywhere near as much as I used to. I'm kind of scared to do that now. But I've also fallen in love again with the joy of not just cooking, but eating a home-cooked meal. And I know a lot of people don't know how to cook or want to know how to cook. And so these next 2 things that I got kind of tie into all of that. Now since I am re-recording this, I have already gone through part of it and put some little post-it notes in here, but I got this book here. This is The New Way Cookbook by Good Housekeeping. It's got more than 2,000 step-by-step recipes tested in the famous Good Housekeeping kitchens. Now, if you're not familiar with this, Good Housekeeping is second to none in my personal opinion when it comes to recipes. The reason I say that is they have people all over, I don't know if it's just the United States or the world, but they have people in quite a few places, people at different altitudes, different kinds of climates, obviously in different kitchens, but they also use different kinds of ovens and different kinds of hand mixers and that kind of stuff, and the different brands of food. And they all test out these recipes. And if everybody says the recipe came out right, that's when they'll publish it. And to me, that's really cool, because a lot of places, I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but when I moved from Florida to Vegas, I found that some of the recipes I've loved for the whole time I was in Vegas, I don't like them anymore. It's a different climate, it's a different altitude, things taste different. I know it sounds weird, they cook different. And so I feel very comfortable trying these recipes. Now this has microwave recipes also. And it's got more than 100 menus in it, which I find super appealing. Here's what the inside looks like. This book was originally published in 1986. And I want to mention, I don't mean to sound like a snob, but I've really discovered that I prefer recipes that came out before the year 2000. I don't know what's going on with food anymore, but everybody's got all these special diets, and I don't eat that, and I only eat that, and what about this? Recipes have just really fallen apart for me. I just don't like them anymore. And I think most of us know how to substitute different things. You know, maybe you don't want sour cream, and so you use Greek yogurt instead. That's fine. But the recipes themselves aren't as good anymore. It's just gotten really strange for me. But these older recipes, they're just where it's at. I love them. And so anyway, here's the contents. They've got a glossary in here. They've got substitutions. They've got equivalents, how to properly measure things. It really gives you step by step how to make things. So if you've never cooked before and you want to know how to cook, get one of these older cookbooks. I'll try to find some links to this and the other cookbook I'm about to show you, so that if you want to get a copy, you can. Another idea, if you want to learn how to cook, try to watch some of the cooking channels, or Rachel Ray has a show on. She doesn't get as in-depth with that one anymore as she used to, though. But, you know, maybe try watching some of those. But there's just so much in here. And it's pretty cool. I was looking through here. Even I, who have been cooking forever, and I feel like I'm pretty good at cooking and I know how to cook a lot of things, there's still certain recipes that scare me a little bit. And so I like feeling like I have that comfort of knowing that I've got a book I can pick up that will help me. I mean, this book talks about how to cook lobster, how to cut it up, how to eat it. It tells you how to cook an entire chicken, which I've never done. I always get it already cut up. I get chicken breast or thighs or so on and so forth. I would love to learn how to cook a whole chicken. And so things like that, I just feel more comforted knowing that there's a step-by-step guide for that. Now, this does not have a lot of pictures in it, but it tells me if I want to make buffalo-style chicken wings, how to make the sauce from scratch. Yes, that's what I want to know. I love making things from scratch. There's just nothing better. And they do have a few pictures in here in the middle. But you're not going to find a picture on every recipe like you would in some of the books. But if you want to learn how to make an omelet, it will tell you. I just think this is wonderful. And as you see, just going through the first, 300 pages, I already found quite a few recipes that I want to try. Then I got, once again, Good Housekeeping. It's my thing. I love Good Housekeeping. Good Housekeeping Illustrated American Cookbook. Recipes for 600 family favorites, illustrated with more than 2,000 step-by-step photographs and drawings. It's got this cute, I love drawings like that. They're just so pretty. Vintage looking. So this one, the copyright is 1982. That's pretty cool. They've got a map of the United States of America and which foods are popular in each area. Then I found, okay, so in this one, they have a bunch of pages of images of recipes. And then in the back of the book, it's just got the recipes with no pictures. But they're very 70s looking. Or I guess 80s looking, but very 80s fabulous. And then in this cookbook, they show a little bit more even about how to cook things. There's a little bit more in the way of visuals. So it's actually showing someone adding half and half to the pot. And as you can see, I haven't gone through this one yet and marked which recipes I want to try. But speaking of making a whole chicken, there it is. They explain it. This says recipes, preparation, timetables, and beautiful full-page photographs for parties, picnics, barbecues, and other special occasions throughout the year. Well, for me, my special occasion is now just eating at home. And that's okay. This is life right now. I'm going to make the best of it. And hopefully things start changing and we can start being more social. But if not, I'm prepared. I figured out how to make my life work and to still be happy. And it's food. There's just something so beautiful to me about cooking for people and having everybody come together. You know, you spend the day putting your love into this meal, and then everybody comes together and sits around and eats and talks together. There's just something so bonding about eating with people and cooking for them. I love it. Okay, I forgot to tell you, sorry, the cookbooks. They were both originally $2.99. I spent $2.69 for this one and $1.50 for this one. You can find old textbooks at the Goodwill. And I mention this because if you're, if you want to learn something new and you don't want to go to school, you can always get an old textbook and learn about the subject. There's nothing stopping us from doing that. But you can also get an idea if you're thinking of going to school or going back to school, maybe a real specific avenue you're wanting to go down. And Brad is really thinking about going back to school to enhance what he does. And he's not sure exactly which path he wants to take with it. There's quite a few of them. And so I got him this book. It's Engineering Mechanics Statics. I don't know. I don't understand this. It's all Greek to me, but to him it makes sense. And so there's just all kinds of stuff in here about building. I don't know, but he's he's really interested in this. There's a bunch of mathematical stuff in here and just things that don't make sense to me. But if you're thinking of building a bridge, you might want to get this book. There's a lot of interesting stuff in here. But one thing I found when I was in college, if you go buy a textbook for school, they're anywhere from $50 to, shoot, I had a book that was $450 once. They're expensive. And to be honest, reading books that are a few years old, that usually it's not too out of date what they're saying. I mean, sure, certain subjects they are, but for the most part, it's really not that out of date. So why not pick up a few books, right? So this is for him to look at, and I think this might even help him with his job that he has now. And the other thing, I know this will help him with his job. This is Blueprint Reading for Electricians. Oh, I mean, it's what you think it would be. Now, Brad is not an electrician, but he does need to learn how to read blueprints, and sometimes blueprints are very confusing. So I got him these textbooks. Let's see. They were both $1.50. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed my Goodwill book haul. If you did like this, let me know. I want to know if you like these, because if you don't, I'll just keep buying books and not doing videos about it. But if you do, then I'll keep filming them. Well, thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed sitting down with you today and showing you some of the great books that you can find when you go to a thrift shop or the Goodwill or both. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. I love you. Bye.